You can repeat after me like this. एक बार करुणा करो वैष्णव गोसाई। एक बार करुणा करो वैष्णव गोसाई। पतित पावना तुम बिन के हो नाई। जाहर निकटे गेले पाप दूरे जाए। जाहर निकटे गेले पाप दूर जाए। हे मना दयाल प्रभु के बकोथा पाए। गंगार परत होइले आशा ते पावन। दर्शने पवित्र करो ए तो मागो ना। हरि थाने आप राधे सारे हरि नाम। तुम स्थाने आप राधे नहीं परित्राण। तुम्हार हृदय सदा गोविंद विश्राम। गोविंद कहे नाम मोरा वैष्णव प्रणपरा। वैष्णव परा सती जन्मे करी आशा चरणे रधूली। नरोत्तम करो दया अपनार भोली। कई बार करुणा करो वैष्णव गोसाई। कई बार करुणा करो वैष्णव गोसाई। पतिता पावना तुम्हारे होना। जय वैष्णव जय वैष्णव गोसाई वैष्णव गोसाई जय वैष्णव गोसाई। जय वैष्णव प्रभु जय वैष्णव प्रभु वैष्णव प्रभु जय वैष्णव प्रभु। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद। जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय गुरुदेव। श्री वैष्णव ठाकुर की जय, जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। So we will also quickly read the meaning. Very beautiful. Sorry, I was wrong. It is by Narottam Das Thakur. I was also hoping to sing another one, Mohe Vaishnav Thakur. So I got one. So the translation goes something like this. O Vaishnav Gosai, please be merciful to me now. There is no one except you who can purify the fallen soul. Then second one is Jahar nikate gele papa jure jaye emona dayalu prabhu keva gothar paye. Says, where does anyone find such a merciful personality by whose mere audience all sins go far away? And this is the subject matter of today's verse 1.1.50. Mere audience. So we should remember this. 3. गंगार परस होइले पश्चाते पावन दर्शन पवित्र करो ei तुम्हार गुण. It's saying after bathing in the waters of the sacred Ganges many times, one becomes purified. But just by the sight of you, the fallen souls are purified. This is your great power. This is the second subject matter of this verse. हरि स्थाने अपराधे तारे हरि नाम तोमय स्थाने अपराधे नाही परित्राण. So the holy name delivers one who has committed an offense to Lord Hari. But if one commits an offense to you, that is Vaishnav, there is no means of deliverance. Tomar Hridaya Sada Govinda Vishram, Govinda Kahena Mora Vaishnava Param. Your heart is always resting place of Lord Govinda, and Lord Govinda says, the Vaishnavas are in my heart. This is also one of the imports of the verse. प्रति जन्म में करी आशा चरण ने रघुली नरोत्तम में करो दया अपन नाम बोली. I desire the dust of your holy feet in every word I may take. Please consider Narottam yours and be kind upon him. So, though Narottam Das Thakur is speaking, keeping him as the first person, but actually this verse is meant for all the practicing devotees so that we take the shelter of the Vaishnavas and the lotus feet and the Acharyas in proper consciousness, understanding the importance of their shelter. Right? So this is beautiful verse, with beautiful prayer we should read repeatedly. So today's verse is 15th of the first chapter of first canto. Okay, 1 second. And how is this being shared? Acha, on the, sorry. Go down. Good. Which one? Or I should share everything. This I can remove, this connection. Connection we can remove now. The screen to. Acha. ठीक. I hope it is visible now. Okay. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्विता नमो कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो चौदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम पदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौतुषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। यत्पाद संश्रया सुता मुनया प्रसमायना साध्या पुनन्ति उपस्कृता स्वधुनी अपो अनुसेवया। It is visible from the... No. What? Better. यत्पाद संश्रय सुता मुनया प्रसमायना साध्या पुनन्ति उपस्पृष्टा स्वधुनी अपो अनुसेवया। यत्पाद संश्रय सुता मुनया प्रसमायना साध्या पुनन्ति उपस्पृष्टा स्वधुनी अपो अनुसेवया। यत्पाद संश्रय मुनया प्रसमायना साध्य पुनन्ति उपस्पृष्टा स्वदुनिया भुवन् सेवया यत्पादसंश्रया सुता मुनः प्रथमायना साध्य पुनन्ति उपस्पृष्टा स्वदुनिया भुवन् सेवया यत्पादसंश्रया सुता मुनः प्रथमायना साध्य पुनन्ति उपस्पृष्टा स्वदुनिया भुवन् सेवया word meaning yat, food, pad, lotus feet, samshraya, those who have taken shelter of Suta, O Sut Goswami, Munaya, great sages, Prasamayana, absorbed in devotion to the Supreme, Sadhya, at once, Punanti, sanctify, Upasprastha, simply by association, Swadhuni, of the sacred Ganges, Apaha, water, Anusevaya, bringing into use. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: O Sutta, those great sages who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord can at once sanctify those who come in touch with them, whereas the waters of the Ganges can sanctify only after prolonged use. Forward. Pure devotees of the Lord are more powerful than the waters of the sacred river Ganges. One can derive spiritual benefit out of prolonged use of the Ganges waters. But one can be sanctified at once by the mercy of a pure devotee of the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that any person, regardless of birth as Sudra, woman, or merchant, can take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord and by so doing can return to Godhead. To take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord means to take shelter of the pure devotees. The pure devotees whose only business is serving are honored by the names Prabhupada and Vishnupad, which indicate such devotees to be representatives of the lotus feet of the Lord. Anyone, therefore, who takes shelter of the lotus feet of a pure devotee by accepting the pure devotee as his spiritual master can be at once purified. Such devotees of the Lord are honored equally with the Lord because they are engaged in the most confidential service of the Lord. For they deliver out of the material world the fallen souls whom the Lord wants to return home back to Godhead. Such pure devotees are better known as wise Lord according to revealed scriptures. The sincere disciple of the pure devotee considers the spiritual master equal to the Lord, but always considers himself to be a humble servant of the Lord. This is the pure devotional path. So I would like to start with a small analogy slash anecdote of why only bathing in sacred rivers may not result in the desired purification and cleansing of the heart. So one devotee was telling this example long back. Suppose there is a wine bottle. There is a wine bottle and it is tightly closed. Is there an echo? One second. Am I audible online, Sudita Mataji, Shantanu Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, till now it is good Prabhu, but now it is like a wavering sound.
Hare Krishna is better now?
Still it is like wavering Prabhu, like it's like a wave it is coming.
I can mute from here. No? I am muted now.
Yes,
Is it?
Prabhu. Now it is clear, Prabhu.
Okay. Thank you. So I was giving an example of the wine bottle tightly capped and thrown in Ganges. So the expectation would be because the bottle is now in the Ganges, it should be purified. But because it has been tightly capped, even if it remains in Ganges in the water of the Mother Ganga for a very, very long time, it will not be purified. In fact, it will become better because the old wine is better. So therefore, the example says that one of the main imports or conclusions of this verse is that devotees or Vaishnavas, when we come in touch with them, we get purified instantly. So right now, a lot of instant advertisement going on, instant idli, instant chocolate, instant cake, like that. They give everything and you do. So over here, this verse long back, Vyasdev saw it and he gave her instant recipe already, instant purification, not instant Italy, instant purification. So this is the main import here that in when we come in touch with the pure devotees of the Lord, the Vaishnavas, then we are purified instantly. But normally people take shelter of holy rivers like Narmada Ji, Ganga Ji, Yamuna Ji. They take a long time to purify. And the reason is related to the anecdote that I told. Because we may go to these rivers, take bath again and again, but we may not open the cap of our heart for it to purify us. We are still closed in our own. We have still not done Sarvdharman Parityajya. That is the cap. And we are still keeping that cap on, and then we are taking bath. So sometimes it happens that even after prolonged bath again and again and again, we don't get rid of our impressions of the heart, samskaras and prarabdhas. They don't go away. On the external, we may feel very sanctified, serene in the mind, but the heart, the movement of the heart, which is the original purpose of the human life, that doesn't happen, the purification of the heart. So therefore, the glories of the Vaishnavas are told here. Why do Vaishnavas purify instantly? We will discuss a little bit on that. Because Vaishnavas, when we come in touch with devotees or Vaishnavas, instantly what they will do? What they will do? Vaishnavas, when we reach Vaishnavas, what they do? Exactly. So they discuss about Krishna. And when we discuss about Krishna, then inadvertently, whether we want it or not, the Krishna Katha, because from their lotus mouth, from their purified consciousness, transfers to our own heart. So there is one in the later Cantos Prabhupada will tell when we talk to someone, there are two things that are being transferred, and it is very important to understand with respect to this word. The two things that get transferred. One is the sabda, and the other is consciousness. One is the sabda, and the other is the chaitana, consciousness. Therefore, when we talk to some material person, he may be talking spiritual topic, but along with it, because he is not realized, and within his heart, that particular person in the example is still clinging to his anarthas. Therefore, along with his shabda, the consciousness, impure consciousness is also being transferred. Therefore, in Bhagavatam, it is prohibited to hear from the mouth of a professional reciter. That is the reason. It is because he is also speaking Bhagavatam only, correct? And Bhagavatam is all pure. We have seen Nigam Kalpa Taru. Phalam galitam phalam. And we have seen that this is the ripened fruit. So whoever gives us, it will be same. No, it is not like that. So with this shabda, when a professional reciter or a non-devotee or a semi-devotee or a mixed devotee, when they speak the spiritual topic along with this shabda, the consciousness is also transferred. And therefore it is prohibited to hear from unauthorized people. But when we hear from devotees, when we come in touch with the devotees, we all know what they do. They do Krishna Katha for what? Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. They please each other by speaking about Krishna, glorifying Krishna, and discussing topics about Krishna. So when they do so, along with the Shabda, that what they're speaking, the consciousness is also getting transferred. And because the consciousness is pure, therefore that transfer is having impact on our consciousness. It is purifying us. Therefore, this is the main principle why associating with devotees actually purifies us so far. The more advanced the devotee, more pure the consciousness, and more genuine the association is, faster we will get purified. Right? So this is the principle. Therefore, it is always recommended that in whatever capacity, if you don't have time, then lava matra sadhusan sarvasiddhi hai. Even if in this Kali Yuga people are short-lived, mandbhagya, mandbhagya, upardhuta, always belligerent. But then even in that case, even if they get a lava matra sadhu sangha, that transformation will happen. Why? Because of this principle. Because of the pure devotee, pure consciousness, as soon as the consciousness comes in touch with another pure consciousness, it gets purified. That is the principle. Now, in Bhagavatam, there are total 10 topics discussed overall. Overall, there are 10 topics that are discussed. Sarga, Visarga, creation and sub-creation. And then finally, the 10th topic is Ashraya. Ashraya, taking shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mukunda. That is the 10th topic, Ashraya. All the other 9 topics are actually meant to provide context and subordination, that is the support, to prove that Ashraya is the final objective of Bhagavatam, of human life. So, sages have asked 6 questions, right? 6 questions they have asked, out of which, and the questions start from 1.1.9, that is the first question. And then it goes till the last question goes till 1.1.23, that's the last question. And then in the next chapter, these questions are addressed systematically. But however, in order to address those questions, where to take shelter, when after the Krishna has gone, where has the Dharma taken shelter? Suta Goswami and consequently Vyasadeva is actually setting the context and the pretext of answering those questions in the upcoming chapters. So previously they talked about the glories of the holy name and how holy name induces fearlessness in the devotee, right? And then now the second portion is taking shelter of the Vaishnavas, devotees of the Lord, right? So if we see the pure devotees whose only business is serving are honored by the names Prabhupada and Vishnupad. So as we know, Srila Prabhupada is lovingly called Prabhupada. His name is different. And these upadhis or titles actually they are not mere titles given like Mahatma, as sometimes we give in this world. These are actually given by realized souls to prove that these great souls are already taken complete shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, complete shelter. And therefore, whoever comes in touch with these great souls is purified instantly. Sometimes in this material world, and Prabhupada writes in the further purport, that sometimes in the world, people go to sacred places to take bath in the sacred rivers. But taking bath in the sacred river, and Prabhupada actually writes it multiple times in his small books as well, that going to sacred places, holy places, and taking bath in the rivers will not suffice the purpose. That is not sufficient. What is necessary is going to holy places and taking shelter and hearing from pure devotees, Vaishnavas of the Lord. And from there, the actual cultivation starts. So we know that in the progress of devotional service in the bhakti, there are 9 stages. They start with Shraddha, Sadhu Sang, Bhajan Kriya, Anat Nivritti, Nishtha, Sakti, Ruchi, Bhav, Prem. So, but however, it is told that association, though it is told Adav Shraddha, but then Srila Prabhupada writes that actually association, the primary association with Vaishnavas is also the mother of the Adav Shraddha as well. So association gives rise to Shraddha, and then Shraddha makes us even more determined to take more association, and then we start Bhajan Kriya Anat Nivritti happens. So that is the glory of the association of the pure devotees of the Lord. People who follow the instructions of the spiritual master and acharya genuinely and full-heartedly, they experience a close connection and purification. And when they come in contact, they give Shraddha to a person who is completely stone-hearted. Pashan Hriday, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur calls for many places. Pashan Hriday, and Nautam Thakur. So when one gets in touch with pure devotees, people who are genuinely practicing Krishna consciousness, then it gets transformed, it gets softened. And then in that stone-ridden field, the bhakti beej is shown. Otherwise, if there is a stone, it's a barren land. If you even put a seed and you put a lot of water and you take care, it many times it does not even sprout or grow. So, in order to put the bhakti lata beej, the stone heart has to be first of all made fertile for that seed to be put there. And that's where the association of Vaishnavas actually, that is the purpose of the association of Vaishnavas. That is the transformation that association does, Great Vaishnava Association. So it is told, when we come in the association of Vaishnavas, devotees, there are 6 characteristics that Rupa Goswami tells in Nectar of Instruction, by which we can enhance our association with devotees. And it is very, very important. Practically in our life, if we come to Krishna Bhakti and we do not get a very good friend, a devotee friend, then many a times we have, and all of us might have noticed, that people come, they practice for some time, but then unfortunately they go away, they leave. The reason is that they have not been able to get that hook of their consciousness through association. Their consciousness has yet not been hooked to someone who is practicing genuinely. So when we develop friendship with devotees who are practicing genuinely, our consciousness finds a shelter in the miseries of this world, so it feels comfort. And it is translated in the material world also. It is translated practically as someone with which you can share your mind, you can share your heart. So they are very practical aspects of making devotee friends. So therefore, at least one, Radheshyam Prabhu in one of his lectures tells, we should have at least one very good best devotee friend. Best friend in devotee. At least one should be there. So that what happens is, when we start bhakti, we take association, we develop more shraddha, and then we do bhajan kriya, and then anarth nivritti starts. Bhakti Vinod Thakur in his Jaiva Dharma, chapter 14, he writes that until the time this bhajan kriya anarth nivritti, so sadhu sang bhajan kriya anarth nivritti, these 3 stages actually are very, very difficult to overcome. He writes, not he writes, a devotee when he was explaining, he says, most of the devotees actually get entangled in these three stages. So it's like a sinusoidal wave. We have seen sine wave, right? Goes up and down, up and down. It's like that. So until the full anat nivritti happens, we sometimes we will feel like we are feeling very good in bhakti. Then our Puran, old sanskaras get sanskar uday happens, and then we again dip. And then we take association, we go up, and then sanskar uday happens, and then we go down. So our past impressions within our heart, lust, pride, greed, anger, envy, all these are having, these impressions are present on our heart from a long time, many, many words. So it's like a line on a stone and it is very difficult to erase. So I often give this example of a beaker full of water with a lot of dust or mud in it. So when we come in bhakti in the association of devotees, the first stage, by the mercy of devotees, we come in association of devotees. In the first stage, we are like that beaker with a lot of mud. Then what happens when we come in bhakti, we start becoming shanta. We start becoming shanta. So that beaker is actually, it starts becoming stable. As the beaker becomes, the water in the beaker becomes stable, all the mud settles down to the bottom. That's where Chaitanya Prabhu in one of the lectures he was calling out. That's where devotees start feeling like I am becoming elevated. No, your anarthas have gone nowhere. They have just settled down. Our anarthas, my anarthas have gone nowhere. They have just settled down. So what happens in when we are in the strong association of devotees, when we come early in the early stages of association, we feel very enthusiastic. We do book reading in groups. We go to yatras, take prasadam enthusiastically, dance, chant, all these things we do. So essentially what is happening, all the previous anarthas which were occupying our full heart, for some time they feel like something is changing. Let me, keep quiet for some time. So can you let us keep quiet for some time? So they all settle down. In that time period, devotees may sometimes start feeling like, okay, I am becoming elevated, and that is the catch. So again, in the association of devotees, when we hear properly, they tell us. So Chaitanya Prabhu is telling this stage is called premature transcendence. He's telling this is called premature transcendence. Like we have the anarthas have gone nowhere. They are there, and they all settle down. But sometimes you start feeling, oh, now I am not feeling the same amount of lust that I used to feel previously. But that is not the ultimate purification that we needed. This is in transition state. What happens in this state is when we come in association of either people, so so Vyakti Prabhav, Desh Prabhav, when we come in the association of these things, either situation or people or place or food also sometimes, it's also part of situation, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur described. When we come in association with these things, these anarthas will again be agitated. So maybe we come in association with an old friend with which we did all sinful activities, and then our anarthas will again be activated. Or we come in association of a situation. So we are in office and they are all going for a outing, and we are in a situation where nobody is there. But then I like something to do and they are doing that. So we get in association. We get in that situation. And then again our anarthas get agitated. So anarthas have gone nowhere. In fact, Bhaktivinoda Thakur tells that 99% of the devotional effort goes in these three stages, in these first three stages. 99% effort goes because after that the graph is exponential. After that the graph is not sinusoidal, it is exponential like this. So bhajan kriya anarth nivritti, bhajan kriya anarth nivritti, फिर down फिर up, फिर down फिर up. ऐसे करते करते it takes long time, and we have all experience of this, right? Sometimes people ask this question. So when I came in bhakti, I felt so nice. Now I'm not feeling nice. My old bad habits are coming up again. Why is that? The reason is this. Another reason for this is the cause of that happening. But the reason is that as the time passes, we have slackened our association with the Vaishnava. We have slackened. Why? Because we have become complacent. That is the another important aspect of devotee association, complacency. So that, see, that this is a two-sided sword. One, you have to have a very good devotional devotee friends in the circle, and second, you don't have to become complacent. It's like a very delicate trade-off or balance that we have to make, that we don't become over familiar so that we start doing apradhas, because if we do apradha, it is what? Matta hati. Hati matta aparadh. So since like what? The devotional garden will be destroyed by it. But if we do not develop friendship and we get into an association or a situation that was that we were previously where the anarthas can be agitated, then we will not be able to, nobody will be there to pull us back. So both of them have to be balanced very properly. That is a trick, we can call it. That's a trick. And if you see, if you observe the characteristic of all the realized devotees, senior devotees, Maharajas, sannyasis, or people who are realized, you see, they maintain this balance very meticulously. They are very conscious and alert what they are associating with, situation, person, place, and they are very alert to make sure that they are always having contact with devotees. I'll tell you one very good, interesting experience that I got in Mayapur. So we, from our base, before coming to Grihastha Ashram, I was in base until the last day of, before I was there in base. And I lived there for around 12, 13, 14 years. And every year from base, we take Mayapur Yatra. So in Mayapur, at that point in time, I got a provision to serve one sannyasi. Our leader told, you can serve one sannyasi for the whole yatra, and you have to be with them always. And I'll tell you what it takes to serve a sannyasi. So and how I failed miserably. So when you, the context is when you go to Mayapur, there will be a lot of sannyasis who will be visiting different kind of yatra. So there is an international yatra, Bengali yatra, Hindi yatra, etc., etc. And some sannyasis are designated to visit each one of them to grace them with their same, their mercy, their powerful words, to so that devotees can take advantage of the yatra and the dham. So some sannyasis stay on the yatra in the night, in the camps. Some of them stay there. Some of them go back to the temple. That is the provision we all know. Some sannyasis, so one of the disciples of Prabhupada, his name is Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj. Teaches in Dubai, Nepal. He's from London, and then in Bihar. So just a fun fact about Maharaj. Maharaj did a boat ride from Nepal to Bihar, and he went on boat. Every year he goes, I don't know if he is doing still. And then he keeps on preaching on all the villages that fall on the banks. So he stops and then goes. And if you would have seen Maharaj, he wears a cap where the whole transmigration of the soul from different phases of life are depicted. And he wears slippers of different colors. So he's one of his disciples, Mahavishnu Prabhu from Nepal. He was president of Nepal temple. He met me there only. So Maharaj every time brings one devotee with him when he keeps on roaming. When he comes to Mayapur in Var Purnima, he brings one devotee along with him. So this time, 4 5 years back, this devotee Mahayagya Prabhu came, and he told, this time Maharaj went to Africa and he went to one of the aboriginal societies of Africa, and he was preaching there. So over there, he was carrying an instrument made up of bones. He carried the instrument made up of bones, and he chanted. And finally, he preached there for some time, and he made two disciples there in the aborigine, in the Jangli Adivasi community. He made two disciples there, Mahavishnu Sai Maharaj. So when I got the chance to serve Maharaj there, it was very difficult because Maharaj are all transcendental. They're always very alert to keep an association with the holy name, with devotees, and somehow they remember Prabhupada. I don't know how they remember Prabhupada. So Maharaj, he's like, if you Maharaj is sitting here, and if you start doing kirtan, Maharaj will leave his chanting, everything, and he will pick his accordion and he will start playing. He's so habituated to Sankirtan. So Maharaj does Sankirtan whole day. In the night, he comes back, he's chanting. So he asked me, That day I was serving him. It was some 9 or 9:30 in the night. Avdhut, how many rounds are left? I looked at his counter. I told Maharaj, 12 are left. Maharaj, oh God, I'm so foolish. My rounds are left. Then he laid down because he was so tired. I was massaging his feet and he laid down and he was chanting and he was sleeping. He was falling asleep, but he was very cautious to complete his round. Till 1:30 in the night, he kept on doing that. He fell asleep, then he woke up, then he started chanting, then he fell asleep because he was so tired of doing Sankirtan whole day. And he like 65, 68, and he carries such a huge accordion whole day. I mean, we cannot even think to. I am carrying in the yatra a small bag, and I'm like, this is done. So so Maharaj is tired and he's doing that. So the point that I'm making is Maharaj is so particular about associating with devotee. How is he associating with Prabhupada there? By following his instruction. Prabhupada said 16 rounds, minimum 16 rounds. So he's a sannyasi, he's Maharaj, nobody is looking at him. And he's already elevated. He's doing Sankirtan whole day. It will be no harm that if he leaves his rounds that day and he completes the other day for any reason. But he is so meticulously making sure that he is associating with Prabhupada through his instruction. This is instance number one. Second instance, whenever Maharaj goes in the yatra, this is about some other sannyasi, he goes and he has to talk to many Matajis in the way. Matajis come and they offer something, they ask some questions. They ask. At that point in time, the name is Bhakti Vigna Vinashak Narsingh Swami Maharaj. He teaches in Japan. Maharaj is so particular that whenever some Mataji starts approaching, he calls a devotee near him. Hey, Mahayagya, come here, or Narsingha, come here. And he always makes sure that when he is talking to some Mataji, he is in front of somebody's eyes. He doesn't require to do that, but he makes sure that is there. And many, brahmacharis follow this practice. Why I'm telling this? These are some examples of how the devotees are making sure that they always keep in touch with some sort of pure consciousness, either through following the instructions of the Guru or with the direct association with some devotee or some book. Like that, they always make sure that in every situation they are, in touch with devotees. So therefore, for us practicing devotees, it is very, very important that we plan properly for such kind of situations before they even come, so that we can always, be in the association of Vishnu Pads and Prabhupada, right? By following the instruction or some, hearing material or reading books or something like that. It's very important. Otherwise, what will happen is, so coming back to my previous point, it is a two-sided sword. One, we should have very good friendship amongst devotees, so that when we start trailing off from the path of bhakti, they actually pull us. Hey Prabhu, this is not the main highway. This is the side service road. Don't go there, because it may look like the highway and the service road are parallel for some distance, but then even a half a degree or 1 degree of deviation between the two can lead to completely different place. And we have seen these on highways, right? For some time, service road and highway are same. But after that, small deviation in the service road and it lands in another city. You're going to Lucknow, you will land in Kanpur. So that is how it happens. And therefore, the strong association and friendship amongst devotees needed, because they will see as soon as you start deviating, and deviations can be gross and subtle. Again, Bhaktivinoda Thakur talks about it in great detail in Jaiva Dharma, that how the deviations are gross and subtle. So there are two kinds of anarthas. One anarthas before coming to bhakti. There are some anarthas which we talk about generally, 6 anarthas. These are the anarthas, these are before coming to bhakti. But there are bhakti unnat anarthas also. After coming to bhakti, there are another set of anarthas that come in. Another set of anarthas. Man, puja, pratishtha. Very, very subtle anarthas. Those, the previous ones were gross, so you can find out. If you are feeling attraction towards opposite sex, you can figure out, okay, this you can pinpoint. At this point in time, I felt attraction. At this point in time, I felt greed. But these anarthas, the bhakti unnat anarthas, the ones that come after the coming in bhakti, are very, very subtle. Are very subtle. And these are very difficult to pinpoint and find out at the right time. So therefore, a strong association with devotees, good friendship with devotees is very, very important so that they can tell us at the right time, Prabhu, this is not the highway, this is the service road. Please come back, or else you will reach somewhere else. And this is the same principle that is also told with respect to when the analogies are given with respect to main Bhakti Lata beads and the Kharapatwar, the beads. Same analogy. So if in case if we are not attentive of what we are practicing, and these subtle anarthas, the bhakti unat anarthas, they keep on coming. So it may happen that I start speaking very nicely, I learn many slokas. For the initial part of the bhakti, they may seem like they actually will help me grow to some extent. But after that, what happens is they may also tend to develop this anartha of man puja pratishtha. This subtle desire for recognition, a separate recognition. So if the arti after arti is being given to someone, then it is like who is given first? Senior devotees are given first. So it may happen. Why am I being given in the last? Am I the junior most? So within our heart, within ourselves, we feel like that. Why am I am such a old devotee in age, in practice, in realization. लगता है ये लोग मुझे पहचान नहीं पाए, मेरा टैलेंट पहचान नहीं पाए. So these are all subtle anarthas that come in. We can discuss some other day. But again, maintaining a strong association with devotees and also making sure that we are not becoming over familiar to a brothers. Now, what is over familiarity? Let us also talk a little bit about it. So Radheshyam Prabhu tells in one of his lectures that over familiarity is essentially when the first symptom of we becoming over familiar is that some devotee gives us an instruction and we translate it. So if we are translating the instruction, that is the first symptom of. Now what do we mean by translation? So Prabhu told that you don't go to Mayapur this time. You don't go to Mayapur this time because there are some services. I'm just taking a very crude example. But we translated. Maybe Prabhu meant for the devotees who have some service in the yoga, they should not go. But I am not having any service, so therefore this instruction doesn't apply to me. This is called translation. Translating an instruction for your own whimsical benefit. So like that Maharaj tells you should chant properly. Some devotees chanting. This is for people who are new to chanting, but I am chanting from such long time. I'm already chanting properly. So maybe this is more applicable to others. This is an example of translation. So therefore, the first symptom of becoming over familiar or complacent is when we start diluting or translating the instruction. And this is not meant for me, or maybe this is not fully meant for me. Even subtle of the subtle. It is meant, but not fully. I mean, I'm doing some part of it already. So, but if in case, so this is the first thing, becoming complacent. What it does, it basically does the same thing that the example that I gave in the start. It keeps on tightening. The complacency is exactly tightening the cap of the heart again. So the reason Vaishnavas and devotees purify us instantly is because we kept our heart open and the instructions went inside. But as we start becoming complacent, we don't take them seriously, or we take them mockingly, or we take them semi-seriously, then their instructions stop reaching the core. The instructions stop reaching the core, and therefore along with the instruction, the consciousness, the purification is stopped. So that is the trick that we have to take care, or the trade-off. One more point, Prabhupada and some devotees who have written their own notes on this verse are also telling that these pure devotees are called Tirtha Kurbanti Tirthani. That's what we have written, no, right? So these pure devotees are actually tirthas, moving tirthas. Why? Because they carry, see, the tirtha is known a tirtha. Why? Because Lord is present or was present. In fact, Lord is present there. Right? That's why they are known as tirthas. So Vrindavan is there because Lord performed his pastimes and he is still performing. And the pure devotees, they are called as moving tirthas because they carry the Lord within the core of their heart. Therefore, another important point from this word is that wherever pure devotees and Vaishnavas are present, at that point or that place becomes tirtha. So therefore, if some devotees are gathered somewhere and they are doing sankirtana, we should be very, very sure, 100% sure, there is no confusion in this, that that place is having the same potency as any other tirtha. So if we sit there, we chant, and with this proper consciousness, we hear, we chant with devotees, we will get the same benefit as somebody who gets in Vrindavan or any other tirtha. Therefore, Prabhupada said we should go to Vrindavan for 3 days. That is the reason. Go 3 days, come back and do association in service. Otherwise, we become complacent there and we start thinking, यहाँ पे एक प्रॉपर्टी होती तो अच्छा होता, रेंट पे उठा देंगे, तो ऐसा आता है. When we start living in Dhama, we start feeling like this, and these are all Dhama Aparad. So we have Dhama Aparad, we have Seva Aparad, we have Vigraha Aparad, we have Nam Aparad, and there are different kind of aparadas there. Vigraha means Seva Aparad. So we have to be very careful of not committing these offenses. If in case we do, then it is analogous to my previous example, where we, instead of watering the main Bhakti Lata, we start watering the weeds. So therefore, maintaining, good association, friendship, but not becoming over complacent, over friendly with devotees is of paramount importance. So these are few things that I wanted to tell. I also made some notes. Let me see if I am having anything else. So these were Bhakti Unata, Anarthas and all I spoke about. Okay, we are already around time. I'll stop here. If there are any questions, comments regarding this work, then we can take. Yeah, actually, Prabhupada said yes. And he said that if in case, and that is the import of this whole work. So therefore, if we associate properly with the pure devotees of the Lord, the change that the anartha that we're expecting to happen will happen even faster. It actually is proportional to the extent with which we are seriously taking the association. That essentially in the other word means, if you take the example, how much we are opening the cap of the bottle for the anarthas to come out and mix with the nectarian Ganges coming out of the mouth of the devotee and become purified. If you keep the lid tight, and what does that mean in practice? It exactly means to get the chastisement from the devotees. It's very difficult. The opening the lid and let it go is like getting the chastisement from devotees. So when you come in association with devotees, everything will not be flowery. So you are doing very good, Bhavana Mataji, you are doing very good, very good, very good. It is not always like that. क्या सेवा किया है, मजा आ गया, वाह क्या प्रसादम है, क्या कीर्तन किया है, सबको अच्छा है, नहीं ऐसा नहीं होगा. So letting the bottle cap loosen is like the main purpose is to get the chastisement. So we should be very careful. Is our senior doing any chastisement to us or not? As of now, if not, then something is wrong. That essentially means that we are not ready. He is not feeling us to be ready to take the chastisement. So therefore, we have to make ourselves available for them to chastise us and correct us. That is very important. If we have been in bhakti and our seniors, our guru, our counselor, our mentor, our base in charge is not chastising us, something is wrong. Something is wrong. Either you are pure devotee by birth, that you are not doing anything wrong, or something is wrong. Okay, so as an answer to your question, there is immediate hope. There is not hope. Immediate solution available. Depends on how much we can loosen the cap of our wine filled heart, anartha filled heart, so that everything gets purified. By how? By the chastisement, by the instructions, by the mercy, by the love, by the association of Vaishnavas. Everything will come together. It's a package. So we should not hope that Vyasacharya Prabhu will always keep on patting us on the back. It will not happen. So we should wait for the chastisement. We should wait. And actually, if you remember in Chaitanya Chaitamrita, Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Bhagavad, Chaitanya Chaitamrita, if you see, there are 5 or 6 main aspects of devotee association are talked. But main, aspect is that if you see Raghunath Das Goswami's life example, he was from a very wealthy family. Again, I'm going into a very deep topic, but just touching the surface. When he came, he started begging, then he started eating. And so he was showing incremental levels of renunciation. And every time Mahaprabhu was saying, very good, I am pleased. So when Mahaprabhu was told that Raghunath Goswami is showing another, he has stopped taking the gifts sent by his father, stage number 1. Then he started begging on the Singadwar. Then he started eating broken rices from the ditches. So he's showing incremental levels of renunciation. Mahaprabhu every time is saying, very good. But Raghunath Goswami, why, if Mahaprabhu told very good, I am pleased in the first level, why did he go to next? And that's where Rupa Goswami's Pranam Mantra comes in. Sri Chaitanya Mano Abhistam. Sri Chaitanya Mano Abhistam. We have to understand the bhava or the I don't know how to translate it in English, the main desire, the innate desire of our guru, of our senior, what they want from us. Most of the time we do what we like and then we prove to them that this is what you liked, therefore I did it. We go the other way around. So we do something and then we prove it to our seniors, our guru, acharya, that this is the right thing to do and I have done it, and you please like it. And therefore, because looking at our condition, they say yes, Prabhu, very good. It should have been other way around. They should have, if we would have been receptive enough, open enough to receive the instruction, then the instruction would have come from outside. Remember that the instruction should always come from outside, from great acharyas. The instruction has to come from outside. But in the initial stages, because we are not receptive, we are not ready to take that, therefore, some other indirect means are given to us of instructions. And as an answer to your question, just to conclude, is that there is immediate hope. The solution is there. The ingredients are there. It is us making that proper balance of complacency and friendship amongst devotees, so that we can make ourselves open to receive that instruction, chastisement. And when that will happen, the growth will be very, very fast. And therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur tells, after Anarth Nivritti happens to a certain stage. In fact, he also gives percentages there. He gives percentages. At this stage, these anartha goes away at this percent. I mean, in the proportion, he gives proportion, and then it translated to percent. And after that, Nishtha, Asakti, Ruchi, after there, the graph is exponential. Then no more Damadol. So that is how it is. So if you want to add something, it's a very important question. Most of us. And the sad thing is, Prabhupada at some point in time, he told, if I'm not wrong, he told most of my disciples, I don't know if Prabhupada said it or someone, please correct me, Prabhupada, most of my disciples will land in heaven. See, it's such a dangerous position. We are not doing bhakti to land in heaven. The reason is because of this sinusoidal thing. So it's like that. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, we are at 8:43. Can we continue? Sorry, if they continue. Okay. Yes. No, it is good that it goes here. It is a part of the process. Don't consider this is an anomaly. This is part of the process. But we have to do it correctly. It's not an anomaly, it is the right thing to do. But we have to do it correctly so it happens faster. So 99% of your current energy should go there, but it should not continue throughout life. That is the point. Now, I'll tell you. So, as a practical tip, and this is based on my personal experience, most of my friends from my BTech graduation are now brahmacharis in Delhi. So, almost 7 to 8 friends of mine are all brahmacharis, and they are doing very good. By the way, they are doing very good. So, I have noticed one thing peculiarly in each one of them is that they pick a senior. I mean, whoever is assigned as the seva in charge for them, and they follow them blindly. And not only blindly in the sense, I mean, blindly may not be the right word. I don't know what is the right word. They follow them with full heart, and they are so genuine in when they are following them. Prabhu has given me this service. I will continue doing it month over month, year over year until he says. And they keep on receiving the chastisement. So what I'm trying to tell, maybe I'm not able to paraphrase it properly. What I'm trying to say is the one characteristic that I have noticed is that all those devotees who have been there brahmacharis for year over year for so many things and they are doing wonderful services is that they are following the instructions given to them very very purely, genuinely, however you want to say, and they are not deviating anywhere. So, as an answer to your question, we have to follow the instructions of guru, facilitator, and senior with such firm faith and genuinity. If we ever are able to do that, our progress and purification will be very very fast. I have really seen people. I'll give you one practical example. One person, this is back in 2007, 2008, 2007, my first year. I was already in base. So somehow some devotee brought me in base. I was sitting there and I was made the in charge of being when new people come, you talk to them. And one devotee came, he was funky, what do you call funky styled, funky jeans, hair, gel hair, and he was very funky. As soon as I saw, because of my immaturity, as soon as I saw him, I told he can never become devotee. This person can never become. This is sometimes happen to us. Like we see someone and this person is gone case. But I'll tell you today, fast forward today, he is personal assistant of Mohan Rupa Prabhu. He is a brahmachari. He's personal assistant of Mohan Rupa, who is the president of Delhi Temple. And he's doing wonderful. I'll tell you the middle part. So this was the initiation, the end state, the initiation. What he did good is that he was very good at managing things. If you have to print the visiting card, he will find out the best place to do. And as Prabhuji is doing lot of services, right? So he will find out the best place to do, get it printed, save every penny, and come back and report in the evening to Prabhu. And when I was seeing him, I was saying, why is he doing all this? Like, it was going above my head. I was not able to get why he is doing such meticulous levels of service where it is not even required. Sometimes some junior devotees, some new devotees, they were feeling like he's overreacting or he's trying to impress the senior or something like that they were thinking, but that devotee continued doing it, genuinely following the instructions and putting his whole heart, pouring his heart, as Radhanath Maharaj says, absorption, and pouring your heart in the service. And he continued doing that year over year over year, and all of a sudden, he's a very rich person, by the way. He's from Himachal, very rich person, lot of land, and only one other brother left his job, and he doesn't have father, only mother. Left his mother behind, everything behind, all of a sudden, and he joined. One final day, he came to me. I was based in charge, and he was a resident devotee. He came to me, Prabhu, I'm joining. I left my job. What? I was like, at that day, I was like blown away by the power of someone, pouring his heart and getting absorbed into the service. The example is given of the arrow maker. The arrow maker is making the arrow for the king and his army. But when the king, along with his whole paraphernalia, passes with all pomp and show and sound and noise, that arrow maker is completely absorbed in making the arrow. That is the level of absorption that is needed. And therefore, one of my seniors long back told me that it is not necessary for us to do big services. Even if we are given, can somebody can take care? So if even if we are giving a very small service of cleaning the floor of a room, even if we do that with absorption, pouring our heart into that service, we will get this same or even better purification as someone who might be building a huge temple. That is the point. And then again, we go to Ramayana and we get the anecdote of the squirrel and Hanumanji. So there are a lot of examples like that. So as an answer, why should we, what is the practical tip? As far as I have understood, and again, there can be other aspects and dimensions senior devotees can tell. But one is like if we do some service with absorption, like I am speaking, if I am absorbed in this service given to me with this servitude attitude that I am serving someone, let me be absorbed in this. Maybe my words will not be flowery, maybe my words will not be scholarly, but if I am able to do this service with genuine absorption, it will strike the heart of everyone who listens. That is for sure. And Prabhupada is the living example of this. Prabhupada is not a very fluent English speaker, he is Bengali present. But when he spoke, it touched the heart of everyone because Prabhupada is completely, he's the zenith of absorption. He's the zenith of absorption. There cannot be no absorption beyond. In fact, Prabhupada, we have seen in his morning walks, recordings, lectures, letters, whatever he's seeing, he's completely absorbed in the instruction of his Guru. Every time, everywhere. That is the funda. I mean, that is what I understood. And I gave that devotee, and I have seen many devotees over here as well. They pour their heart in some service, like they will, हमारे सामने, they come and they just fly away in front of us, very new to very senior, and we are like watching the graph, like that it happens. So, Hare Krishna. Hope that answered. It's okay, Prabhu. We can take more. Unless some of us are too hungry, then you let us know. Otherwise, we'll continue for some more minutes. But if you are having some urgent work to do, please feel free to. There is no offense. Hare Krishna.
Sometimes I have a consciousness is to complete the service the best possible, the best time. But that consciousness that I am looking for if that consciousness I am thought that I am not conscious of what I do. So how to keep that consciousness always there? So I'm doing something that I am doing so this more of a business and I think the best
Yeah, it's a good question. But the question itself shows that you are on the right path. Because if you have got the consciousness that you are not in the right consciousness, that is also part of the process itself. So you have already passed the level 0 and you are ahead of me. You are so I may be jealous of you, but you are already reached a state where you have gotten the consciousness that you are not in the right consciousness. Now, the next state would be for you to be always in this consciousness that you are not in the right consciousness. Right now, that consciousness may come sometimes. The next stage would be you will always be in the consciousness, and that is called transcendental lamentation. The transcendental lamentation comes at different levels. One, in the neophyte level also, this is the how it manifests. That I am not able to do anything. Some devotees may say externally, so I'm not able to do anything. But what you are saying with feeling, with how. Then that is the second stage. Always you will feel like that. As soon as you start feeling like that, always, that is the symptom that now you will move ahead in the next stage. And that is where you will start manifesting that consciousness that is required. So I would say what you are telling is a symptom that we are on the right path. If somebody would have told, I don't even know whether I'm in the right consciousness or not. So the unknown, I don't know, and I don't know what I don't know. That is a bigger problem. That essentially shows that it will take more time for the consciousness to ripen a little bit or blossom a little bit more. See, when we come in bhakti, our consciousness is all shrinked. Why it is shrinked? Because Prabhupada tells in Bhagavatam, in the association of material nature, our consciousness shrinks. In the association of spiritual atmosphere, our consciousness blossoms. Right? So because of our association with matter from such a long time, our consciousness has shrinked. So if somebody says that I don't even feel, Prabhu, that I should do something right, or if that is the case, then it will take more time for the consciousness to blossom a little bit more. And then they will come to this stage, and from this stage they will move to the right consciousness stage like that. So this is the the part of the process. There is nothing to worry about. In fact, you are doing better than me. So just that one more point is that we have to be careful. So again, when we heard it, right, it may feel like I'm doing the right thing. So that's where the bhakti unata nathas come in. They say, okay, I'm doing the right thing there. Then I have become senior. Then all this. So we have to be careful. The point is we have to be careful. And as you are rightly doing, we have to examine our consciousness from time to time. That's what Adhisham Prabhu tells every time. We have to be very examinating of our own consciousness. So I tell this often to devotees is that we should, most of the time we are, running, doing services with devotees, we should sometimes find out time to sit alone and meditate on our own condition genuinely. Genuinely. So sit alone, think about what is my level of consciousness. Level of consciousness is judged by the quality of thoughts and your action. Because consciousness manifests in these two, in subtle as a thought, in gross as an action. But we have to be very genuine. Assuming that somebody is genuine and they sit and they think about themselves, where I am, what I'm doing, what is my condition of anarthas, my status of my thoughts, status of my actions. Am I always, like Prabhuji was telling yesterday, am I always working for the pleasure of Krishna? Always. That is the purpose. So we should take time to do that in intervals. Otherwise, if we become too busy in running and doing a lot of things, we may miss the checkpointing. We may miss the checkpoint. It is called checkpointing. In software, it is called checkpointing. So you develop a software, you checkpoint. If it is working, you checkpoint it. You work another version, you checkpoint it. If this version fails, you roll back to the previous one, like fallback strategy, like that they work. So we have to checkpoint ourselves at different stages. And then we will be able to find where did things start going bad. Did I start associating too much with my job at some point in time? Maybe 6 months back, became too serious about the job. And then I start becoming slacken in my spiritual practices. Maybe previously I was chanting all 16 hours in the morning. Now, because of some reason, I'm chanting only 12, and then it reduced further. Sometimes I'm reading Bhagavatam, sometimes I'm not. All these contemplation, introspections have to be there, and for that we have to find time, sit and meditate on our own status and take notes or checkpoint it and tell seniors, get the chastisement, get the purification. This is like how it keeps on happening progressively. So, last question, I think. Otherwise, somebody may curse.
Okay, so you told that you have to be in position with pure devotion. That's how we can create the progress. But sometimes it happens, like I am new, so you also see fault in your senior. Right? And how do we get out of this? How should we deal with it? That's because everyone, I mean, no one is perfect, right? Truly every fault. But when you see fault, how you take it up, and what should your responsibility? How should we deal with it? First thing, it should not come. But when you see it, how you deal with it?
Frankly speaking, this is a very difficult question. But I'll tell you whatever I can. And then maybe we can also connect with Brij Krishna Prabhu and ask more. But I'll try to tell my understanding. As per my understanding of reading and hearing as of now, I feel like this situation itself has risen because of the lack of respect and love for our seniors. One. Second, or we are doing aparadhs. If we were not already in that stage of love and reverence for our seniors, then there is a gap in our understanding of their position. One, if we were already there previously, somebody may say previously I did not see any fault in my seniors ever, and then now I am starting seeing it. Then essentially that is the byproduct of aparadh. We have done some sort of Vaishnava aparadh, Nam aparadh, because of which this is happening. Now coming to this is why it is happening, but coming to how to deal with it, frankly speaking, this is very difficult for me also. But one of the ways in which there is an example in this verse, in the notes, one senior devotee gave is the example of, and Prabhuji was also telling, Amrish Maharaj. So when Durvas Muni did aparadh towards Amrish Maharaj, even Lord Vishnu did not say, do anything, he did not interfere. What did he say? You go back and take shelter of Tuma sthane aparade nahi paritran. We sang in the bhajan. So, so the aparadh towards a devotee, nobody can rectify. Therefore, we have to understand the position of, we have to hear more, read more in order to understand the position of Vaishnava. Right? As you rightly mentioned, nobody in this world is perfect, and therefore we should not even look for perfection. The problem is we are looking for perfection in an imperfect world, right? So if we hear and read properly about the glories of devotees and Vaishnavas, then we will understand, and I mean that tendency to look for faults will gradually go away. The reason we don't look for faults in Prabhupada is we have heard enough glories of Prabhupada. Because everybody is glorifying Prabhupada, and all of them are genuine glories. And he's so glorious that the glories are not finishing. In fact, somebody was telling, around the world, every minute somebody is glorifying Prabhupada. Every minute somebody is glorifying Prabhupada. He's so glorious. And yet the glories are not finishing. And therefore we don't find fault with him. If somebody finds fault with Prabhupada, I've seen one devotee, and that is a direct symptom of his doing aparadhs. and then he went away. So therefore, hearing proper glories of Vaishnavas, this tendency will go away. And why do we don't see faults there? Why in some other person? We have to, if we hear the glories of Vaishnava, how they are important in our lives, what can they do for us even without doing anything, as we read in this word, only by association, then we will become very, very submissive and respectful of the position. So Vaishnava is a position, like Prime Minister is a position, and Narendra Modi is seated on that position right now. But Prime Minister is a position. Therefore, Vaishnava is actually a position in association with the devotee of the Lord, right? And if we understand the glories of that position, whoever we call Vaishnava, then we will be able to look at them with due respect. That is my understanding. Then again, I said this is a difficult question. I can ask him from that, or maybe Prabhuji or someone can add if they want, or anyone from here. We have to hear glories more from the right sources. I hope that answers to some extent. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.